When the DA office executed the search warrant of Yo Gotti's office, they found the same place where Big Jook was at, man. They seen the diary journal of everything they wrote on what they was going to do to set up Young Dolph, man. Everything came back to Big Jook. They know that that's Yo Gotti's brother, and at the end of the day, he's the one that gave up the information location leading to the capture of Govan Hernandez. Govan got a slap on the wrist because they all agreed to give up Yo Gotti. This is the reason why Yo Gotti and Big Jook cannot be together in the same room no more, even though they brothers. They on the same case. And so when they get this justice for Young Dolph and this whole thing come crashing down, this is the reason, is because the turning point was when they got Yo Gotti's closest and most important people around him to turn and flip against him, man. The feds be flipping a lot of people all the time, man. And this is the reason why Black Youngster and everything was being led back to connections with Big Jook. They seen how they ride together in the Bentley and everything like that. The only reason that they were able to find everything out was because they put 2 and 2 together, and they know that Mia J was the one that knew that there was $100K on Dolph's head. When they found that out, they knew that that's exactly who the people that was willing to do that, they went to them first, man. They went to the usual suspects, and that's what led them to do the CMG Rico. This whole entire thing got blown out of proportion, man. When they said that Young Dolph was set up, it was because of the fact that the whole time that he was missing is when they took his keys, man. At that place he did his last interview, they brought in people who looked just like the dude that you be hanging out with Yo Gotti in all them old CMG pictures. If you go back and look at it, the guy with the wide face. And that's when they realized that, wait, when Young Dolph keys got taken, the guy that came in that sat in the chair with the scrubs on inside that West Center, that's the guy that ended up taking Dolph car to the cookie shop. And then when they took Dolph up to the community center and they quickly changed the Turkey Drive address back to Big Moochie Grape's hood. That's why you see Big Moochie Grape, he had his big homie go ahead and record the video so he had an alibi ready to go. This is when they interviewed Big Moochie Grape, and he was stuttering, he was itching and scratching, looking all over the place, started sweating because they pressed him about the missed calls from Young Dolph, the missed calls that Dolph made to him and Snoop Bands and everything. Then they talked to him about how there was a beef between Big Moochie Grape and Young Dolph right before they went back to Memphis. Big Moochie Grape was mad at Dolph because Dolph was waiting on more things to be cleared before Big Moochie Grape could drop more music. They went to do the music video. He's like, I'm working with you. We just got to wait. The way the business works is that you can't drop it right now. And then Big Moochie Grape went live dissing Young Dolph. That was a red flag. From that moment on, people should have started been paying attention to Dolph and letting him know that he needs to get out of Memphis and get away from everybody that could be setting him up. When they came back into town, while Dolph was missing and everything like that, everybody was running around because people were trying to collect that $100K on Dolph's head. This is why Mia J put $500,000 on whoever did this to Young Dolph in the aftermath, because she was keeping the same energy, eye for eye, that they had to do. And when people started calling out Yo Gotti for it and everything, they fled. This is why everybody started moving out of Memphis, because they knew they didn't want to get hit up in their own hood. Everybody moved out except for Black Youngster's brother. It was every man for himself. At that time and place, Black Youngster thought that they was coming from him. He thought that they was going to get him first before they get anybody. So he went and quickly got out of there. This is why you don't see Black Youngster with none of the CMG guys no more. Every now and then he has to sneak out and try to make it to one of them events. But when the picture comes out, you see that he was actually, he fell on the stage. He was off. He basically was caught lacking, man. The people try to trip him underneath the stage because he was nervous. His knees was shaking. That's why Black Youngster fell at that Glorilla concert, because he knew that out of all them people in the crowd, there had to have been some PRE dudes who was trying to line him up because of what they did to CEO Jay Fizzle. And so this whole entire thing was a backdoor setup, and we know this for a fact because we sending our condolences to Young Dolph, man. If you rocking with Young Dolph, put the dolphin emoji. Let me know where y'all from. Let me know who you rocking with and everything like that, because at the end of the day, as the 2 years has been going by and everything, and they're getting closer to the justice for Dolph, one thing that they know for a fact is that all the people that started getting locked up, that started getting turned in, whether they told, snitched, cooperated, and got back out, or whatever the case was, they all end up being somehow, some way connected, leading back to CMG, Yo Gotti, and the whole entire Moneybag Yo crew. And so this is why the Rico is ready to go right now as they get that. As they about to basically this whole thing come crashing down and they start sweeping the whole rest of the crew. They know that they have the heads of the snake left, the ultimate last guys, because the higher ups, the people who actually put the whole entire thing together, Govan did not think of all of this by himself, and this is why he got the lesser charge. They gave him a first degree, but he's out at the crib free right now, basically. And so the whole entire thing behind that is because they know that they got the person who sent the money. They want to follow everything back. And when they did the disses to Young Dolph and everything in the songs, they about to use the whole lyrics against him. This is why Straight Drop's lawyer literally did not want to represent him and dropped him from his firm, because they knew that he had the songs right after Dolph got hit up dissing him, saying he was on the run and everything. That actually connects to this whole entire thing to being like premeditated, pre-thought of, and everything is allegedly for entertainment purposes. But at the end of the day, people know that they was trying to line up Dolph. Like a lot of these rappers be getting lined up by other rappers, by people in their own crew. And with Young Dolph, it was a lot of jealousy, envy from people in his own city because they wanted to be bigger than him. They didn't want to coexist. They didn't want to have a world where everybody wins and everybody eats. They want to have it all. And so this is the reason why the jealousy, the envy, the greed, the money got in the way, the power and everything like that, because people really like they looking at this whole entire thing like they know for a fact that the same people who was beefing with Young Dolph, they might have had something to do with it. That's why everybody looking at Yo Gotti, CMG, and Moneybagg Yo, whoever was riding in that Bentley, might be the ones who's going down for this at the end of it. Because don't you think that they would have had people, the witnesses and everybody, they asked Govan, they asked Big Jook, whose Bentley is that? They showed them the pictures. If they got them screenshots of the Bentley driving by and the two guys jumping out the white car with the Dracos, then they definitely seen the video. And they played the video and said, what plates is that? Have you seen that Bentley before? And that's how they got Big Jook and Govan to actually tell on Yo Gotti. And this is why they ended up getting way less time and are able to be walking around free and everything like that. But Straight Drop and the rest of the people who was more involved in it and didn't tell on Yo Gotti or didn't tell about those key details because they didn't know, or it was out of their whole entire playbook. And so this is the reason why the feds is going so hard at it, because they got everybody to end up saying something and they wrote it all down. So when the Dolph trial starts, they're going to play the footage. They're going to show the Bentley. They're going to bring a lot of people out on the stand and everything. This might end up going to the Supreme Court, man. And so y'all been watching for everything that's been happening. Y'all know for a fact that this whole entire thing almost got swept under the rug. It wasn't until like the big entire thing when Big Jook got captured, that's when everything started heating up. The early this year, man. Like everything would have went unsolved and all that if it wasn't for whatever happened with Big Jook. They must have caught them slipping bad. That somebody must have gave up something. And the special witness that they had the whole time, Young Dolph brother and Straight Drop's brother, the brother of the dudes who basically, like Young Dolph, the person who fell during this whole thing. And Straight Drop is the guy who basically allegedly took him out, is what they trying to say. And so why is it that each of those guys' brothers is the number one witnesses and the ones who's basically going to make it to where they have to listen to their story to figure out and piece everything together to find out exactly how the whole thing played out. Everything from being inside the shop, because remember, Young Dolph, he woke up, he seen that they was trying to tie him in that office chair with the rope and the duct tape. He pulled out the X-Acto knife and cut it off, but he kept his arms behind his back to make it seem like the rope was still on there. When Raven brother turned around, he broke loose. He tried to push him down and he spun around three other dudes. They tried to come and swing him at him with an iron bat. He ducked down. He elbowed them. He kept running. He almost got out that hallway. They tried to throw the fire extinguisher at his ankles to try to trip him up, but he was able to jump over it. Dolph was 6'4", and so somebody tried to sweep him low and kick his legs out, but he jumped up and tucked in, man. He got out that door. He pulled out his purple strap. The people started coming from the side, out of that side of the kitchen, and he drop one of them, boom. The next thing you know, he get to the door and they hit the switch and the lever to lock him in. This is how Young Dolph got trapped inside that cookie shop. Remember when Raven said that it happened inside the shop? She was sprinkling a little bit of the truth. A lot of times when people try to cover something up, they accidentally slip up in the back of their head and they sprinkle in a little bit of the truth subconsciously. This is when she said it happened inside the shop, because a lot of those holes that came through the door and the windows was from inside going out. That was Dolph trying to bust through the lock because he seen that they locked the door in magnetically. And then as soon as he busted the lock and he was about to get out, he had the spare key under his seat, under his sneakers the whole time to go into the C8 Corvette. As soon as he got that door, right when he busted that lock, that's when the dudes pulled up. You hear the tire screeching of that white two-door. The guys get out in the hoodie. He turned around, tried to make an escape for it, but the guy was standing right next to Maurice and had him surrounded, man. Maurice let his hair down and everything like that, and it was over with. That was a sad situation, man, the way that it all happened, the way they took Young Dolph out. I want to send my condolences and continue to, send y'all to come and subscribe to the channel so you can watch the updates on everything that happened, man.